This is Gmail, and this is why it's awesome. Okay, everyone, this is my Gmail. Now let's get into some cool things right away. Over here near Mail, a lot of people don't realize there's a little down arrow. And when you click that down arrow, you can go from Mail, which we are right now. You can go to something called Contacts, which changes it completely and talks about your contacts. And you can go to something called Tasks. Tasks are like notes or things you got to do. So let's start off in Mail. Now, Mail, you can send emails, you can receive them. That's simple. We won't get into that. So let's jump into Contacts. Now, Contacts, I can create a new contact so that I can remember this person. Maybe Waylon's, oh, I already have that one. Okay. I'm going to add that person to my list of contacts. But if I want to go down to a new group, this is good for parent groups or for differentiated groups. I go to new group. I'm going to enter it in parents of my class. Okay, so now there's something called parents of my class, and it's right here now. So let's click on parents of my class, and I'm going to add in contacts of parents of my class. So let's add in myself. Let's just add in my brother just for fun, or Jalal and John, and just a few people so you get to see. All right, so they're all added. So now there's three people in this group. So this is my contacts. So I can go back to Mail, and let's compose a new mail. And if I go into parents of my, oh, there it is, parents of my class. And that's actually, all of them is going to be emailed at the same time. So it might quicken up the process. Really quickly, let's look over at tasks. Tasks are something that we can do, and it's down here. So let's add a task, and let's say I have to remember X, Y, and Z. And I can click this button over here, and I can write notes about it and give myself a due date so it'll remind me. But what's neat is I can take a look at a certain email, go to More, and I can say Add to Tasks. So I can actually have the email here so it'll pop back up. And I can write down the notes of what I need to do with this email. Awesome. Okay, let's take a look at one of the most known first features in Gmail, the search. So if I want to search about the boot camp, I'm going to get all the emails that have the word boot and camp in it. If I want to just have the boot camp together, I put quotes around it, and it will only have those words when they're together. So I refined my search. Let's say that I want to get all the emails from Paul. So I type in Paul, and I get all the emails with Paul's name in it. So if I want to refine my search and only get the words from Paul, I have to put a colon in there, and I can start typing in Paul, and I can click his name to quicken it up, and these are the emails from Paul. Let's say I want to get an email that I sent to Paul. Let's check it. This is all the emails I've sent to Paul, including the ones where he's CC'd in it. All right, now let's get even more detailed. Let's say I want to go over here with this arrow here. Let's click this arrow. And if I want to get from Paul, and I want it to be in the subject about the MAP testing. So I'm just going to type in MAP. Let's search this. Oh, there's less emails, and I've refined my search. Okay, let's do even more with this. If I want Gmail to do something to an email before I even see it, so when the email comes in, there's going to be a filter on that email. So this is all the emails from Paul. And I'm going to create an email filter with that. I click here, and notice all the things I can do to the email, or I have Gmail do, before I even see it. So let's click this. When I get an email from Paul, it automatically deletes it. No, I wouldn't want to do that. Let's mark it as important when an email comes in from Paul. This is also a good thing to do if you want to apply a label to it, like such as you have different differentiated groups, or let's say you have a class, class A. Okay, and let's create that. So when I get an email from a student, I can always send it to class A. So let's create that filter. So really what's going to happen is that when I get an email from Paul, it's going to be marked as important, and it's going to go over here to this thing called class A. Now, notice how there's no Paul in there. So I have to go back to the filter, and I have to get there by going back to settings, and I go to my filters, and I'm going to edit this filter. Okay, I'm going to continue to edit it, and I'm going to apply it to all matching conversations. So let's update the filter. So now when I click on Class A, I'm going to get all the emails from Paul. But really, that might be all of your students. So you can really start to organize the emails that come in before you even see them. Okay, here's something I always try and get people to do, which is customize their theme. So if you go over here to the little screw, or what is that, like a thingamajig? You're going to go to Themes. In Themes, you can change the way it looks or your background looks. Let's say you just want this wasabi color. So it's going to update my background to wasabi. But what I usually do is I like to go to beach. And it just is nice. I like opening my email up and having a different theme. Also, if you have multiple Gmail addresses, maybe you can tell what Gmail you're on by the background. You can also do lots of different things here. So it's a pretty good thing to check out. So I'm sure most of you already have primary, social, promotions, and updated tabs on your email, as it came about a year ago with Gmail. But if you haven't yet, you should check this out. If you go over here to the little thingamajig, you go to this thing called Settings. No, Configure Inbox. I'm sorry. So in Configure Inbox, you can uncheck these or check them. Let's uncheck them and see what it looks like. So what happens here is that all of my email are now in one tab. So if I go to Inbox, everything's smushed together. My Facebook, any updates or promotions or things people are trying to sell me is all together in one. And some people like that, but I like them being separated. So when I go to configure my inbox, I'm going to have all of the Facebook or Google Plus, and let's just see what that looks like. So it's separated into two columns. So then this is my primary, and everything social like Facebook, Google Plus, Scoopit, all that stuff, Twitter is all in one row, so I don't have to be bothered by it, and I only have my main emails over here. But really, I like to have a couple more. I like to have promotions and updates. I don't like forms. It's just my personal preference because sometimes it takes emails that I don't want it to take that I'd rather be in primary. And that's it. So now our email is organized for us. Pretty cool. There's lots of little cool things that you can do with Gmail as well. Like, check this out down here. I have chat. But if I click on these three dots, it pulls up my calendar, which is part of my Google Calendar. So if there's a sports event or anything I need to know about, it's right down here inside my Gmail. Also, another thing that's pretty cool is I can change the way it's split. And notice if I click on an email, then it pops out over here. If I click on another email, it pops over here. Some people really like that, or some people like the horizontal split. And a lot of the times people ask me, how do you do that? Well, all of these things and other things that I don't even do yet come from settings and go to this place called Labs. Now, Labs is what people other than Google have made to make Gmail even better. So you want to look through these and choose the ones that you like the most. I have this one enabled, which is Google Calendar. I recommend it. And it's the preview pane is how you get the option of splitting it up into what's in your inbox and your mail over to the right. There's other things here I know about that, like you can well, you know what? I would just recommend looking through them all. Like undo send. I think I want to do that one because sometimes I send an email and I'm like, wait a minute, I don't want to send it yet. And there's an option for about 5 seconds to undo that send, which usually you can't do. So let's go back. As I've enabled a couple things, I have to save my changes. And it's reloading it. And I can either choose from no split. I usually do no split. But some people really like the vertical split. And when they click on an email, it's over here. And let's see if I can send an email and undo it. Let's send it to Craig. Craig, hey, I blah, blah, blah. If I said something mean, then I press send. Oh, let's undo. I didn't want to send that. Okay, I undid sending it. And that's kind of nice. All right. Okay, so the last thing I'm going to talk about here is in your settings. And I actually recommend going through your settings anyways just to see what's available there. Because in general, there's a lot of different options here that you can go through to do some pretty cool things. Like these things. I know Brent uses these a lot. He could explain it to you sometime. Um, I like to have a picture. Also, this is where I put my signature. You'll see I have all these things here, so you can write your signature there about all the cool things you got and you want people to know about. And like vacation responder is kind of cool. You can turn that on, so then when people send you an email, you say, "Listen, I'm on vacation. Don't bother me." Um, and some other cool stuff that you can do in settings. So I recommend, have fun with Gmail. It's the most widely used email service in the world. Awesome. Let me know if you have any questions.